One. Hello, simps, pimps,
Yo.
nuggets, you know, whatever the hell you want to call yourself. I am your mysterious, sexy, party, fun kind of host, Alex Shamit, and this is Bryce Becker below me. You can see he's doing good with the shades. And welcome to the 2020 SIMPY Awards, the SIMPYs.
Woo! I am
Yeah,
so
woo!
excited for this, man. My entire life has just accumulated to this moment, bro. I'm stoked to present the results. I really am.
It has been a great season. If I want to talk about, just really just thank everybody for, playing all their games, doing all that. Usually by this point in the year, there's a few people who just don't play their games. I will admit, me included in that sometimes. And we have had amazing participation this year. Honestly, it's been the most fun I've had with the league in a while. We even had a great voter turnout for the SIMPYs. We had a 83% voter turnout, which is 30% better than the United States of America. So I don't know what that says, but hey, great
can't ask
job,
for any
everybody.
better than that. You were better than the USA.
Yeah. I mean, Ocon can talk more about that, later, I'm sure. Or Fuzzlekins. But yeah, with that being said, let's just jump into it.
Oh, I'm stoked. I am stoked.
So the first award, we have the Defensive Pokemon of the Year. And the nominees are La Sombra, the Clefable, Sir Gawain, the Corviknight. We have Paul, who is not the player that lost in the playoffs. That is the Quagsire. And we have Absinthe, the Pokemon who I quite honestly forget which Pokemon that is. Bryce?
I believe it was. Let me check, actually.
The ultimate disrespect.
No. I swear, I was considering voting for Absinthe. It was
right.
Puzzlekins, I believe.
Right. What Pokemon is it, Bryce? What Pokemon is it?
I'm checking.
I'm just kidding. I know what Pokemon is. I'm pretty sure it's a Tentacruel, if I remember correctly.
No, you're right, dude.
Yep.
Did you trick me?
I legitimately did forget. But Tentacruel did serve. We can talk about it for a little bit. Tentacruel did serve as the main defensive anchor on Fuzzlekins' team, and it also was a little bit more offensive than you'd think a Tentacruel would be. I believe it got 7 kills. So Tentacruel was an integral part to Fuzzlekins' success, as you can see by her still being in the playoffs, unlike some people. Next, we have Paul, the Quagsire, on a team that did not have a ton of defensive utility. And I believe this was the Hartford Hustle.
Yes.
Quagsire served as kind of a anchor for the team, especially it having Unaware and Water Absorb. It can utilize multiple abilities to stop sweeps, and it overall performed very well. I'll talk about Sir Gawain, Bryce, and then you can get on La Sombra.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Sir Gawain was the Corviknight, which Yewen used very effectively. I feel like the most notable game was the game against Paul, where, well, that's a spoiler. We'll get into La Sombra in a little bit. But yeah, Sir Gawain was the Pokemon that Paul could not break. I believe it pretty much just walled Paul's entire team and won the game single-handedly. Speaking of winning games single-handedly because of defense, Bryce, you can talk about La Sombra.
La Sombra, the Clef. I mean, how much is there to be said other than absolute tank, bro? I mean, Magic Guard, Unaware. You really can't toxic that thing if it has Magic Guard. It just kind of sits there. It protects. It wishes. It clutches for the team. And overall, like, I know there were a few specific games where it really shined, but like every time Sam brought it out, it's a threat. It is an absolute threat. Like everyone, I can probably speak for everyone in this league. Like if you saw Sam bringing out La Sombra, there were some tears. There were some low-key tears of like, how am I going to deal with this thing? I know there's some solid counters out there, but I mean, it can really just sit there and it can scare you. It can calm mind if it wants to, if Sam really wants to, it's versatile defense. That's really what it is. And we totally don't know if it won yet, but honestly, it'd be my pick for number 1.
And it would be my pick too. And in fact, maybe, I don't know, we haven't seen yet, but it may have been pretty much everyone's pick. I'm not going to say whether it won, but this was won by the widest margin of any award. Let's just get into it. Let's La Sombra. Yeah. And La Sombra, whoa, I know, right? this thing won a game without even attacking. I mean, if there is not a defensive Pokemon of the year candidate, I don't know what is. I mean, it doesn't even have to attack to win the game.
Yeah, man.
I mean, Cosmic Power setups. Fuzzlekins can speak on this specifically. It destroyed her. I mean, there was just nothing she could do to break it. The game ended in a forfeit. It was the last Pokemon left in that game. The game ended in a forfeit because she couldn't do anything to it.
Yeah.
I mean, Sombra was just an absolute beast this year, and I mean that's all you really gotta say. So up next, we have a Pokemon that we didn't come into the year thinking would put in work, but ended up actually doing a lot of it. So to start, we have Yuri on Ice, the Bear Tick, which weirdly enough, considering its name, was not at all a Hail Sweeper, but was actually a Rain Sweeper.
That's right.
So the name might have been a little off-putting, but it worked really well with Politoed. I didn't even know it got Aqua Jet, but it's been using Aqua Jet and Swift Swim very effectively throughout the year. Next we have, and it's still in the playoffs, in fact, so we may see it against Sam next week. We never know.
That's right.
Next we have Bogdan, the Braviary. Honestly, I had no idea that this thing was doing well, and I did not even know that Braviary was in the game, if I'm quite honest. I had no idea that Braviary was Sword and Shield. But I think Matthew stopped playing Pokemon around Gen 5, so he probably remembers it because of that.
Right.
And you know what? He's been using it effectively, honestly. Supporting America, you know. He was one of the first exercise right to vote, so Braviary was probably why. And it's gotten 8 kills this year, so for a Pokemon that I didn't even know existed, that's pretty decent.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Up next, we had my personal pick, the boys, which was the Phalanx. I always thought Phalanx had some kind of potential, but I was too scared to pick it. But the Hustle was not too scared to pick it. I believe it was the Hustle, correct?
Yes, it was the Hustle. The Hustle, pretty much his entire team was fearless picks, I'd say. Just like, this could not work, but I'm just going to get them all together and see what happens. And the boys I think it was a perfect example of that type of pick style. And I really think it paid off. And they're really fun to watch, too. I mean, no retreat. Like, bro, that's terrifying.
No!
Oh, who won?
Bro, come the hell on. Why does it keep doing this?
Don't worry. It was a perfect segue to us talking about our next candidate being Choo Choo.
Choo Choo the Ditto.
Choo Choo the Ditto. We don't know if the results are still coming in.
Well, no, they just came in. I think some state declared. I think North Carolina declared or something.
Oh, gotcha. I've been waiting for that.
Yeah. So yeah, all spoilers aside, Choo Choo the Ditto. Honestly, don't get me wrong, Ditto could be considered an OU Pokemon as it sometimes moves up, but most of the time Ditto is considered an NU. Mm-hmm. And Choo Choo not only was contributory for a low-tier Pokemon, but was honestly the best Pokemon on Red's team by far. Yeah. In terms of differential and, you know, like how much he brings it and everything. It was by far the rock of his team. The reverse sweeping that Ditto provided, especially against other sweepers, was huge. And you can go into it.
Yeah, I mean, even with, you know, kind of the low tier consideration, making top 10 out of everyone's Mons on our MVP list, or not MVP list, just the general ranking list, that's pretty impressive. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. An imposter, man, I mean, that's just a good ability. Don't have to worry about clicking transform to St. Gen 1, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it barely missed out on the MVP consideration. I think it was like 1 or 2 spots out of MVP consideration. So being an NU Pokemon that high up, I think the voters speak for themselves. This one was actually a lot closer. The boys came in second place with, I believe, 30% of the vote, with Choo Choo winning with 40%. So it was a close race, but in the end, we had to go with Choo Choo. Up next, we have the underappreciated workhorse, which I really hope this slide does not move forward again. But we have Space Baby, the Jirachi, who is, I can personally attest to, very versatile and very much a threat. Especially against me, it used Energy Ball and a special attacking set, and it ended up leading to a pretty big upset with the Charizards upsetting me, and it's been really consistent all year. It's the only defensive Pokemon really on that team, and it is essential for any victory that they have. Mm-hmm. Up next, we have Raymond, who, I'm not going to lie, is another Pokemon that I actually forget who that even is.
Raymond was the Mamoswine, I believe.
On Yewin's team. That is correct. You can tell how unappreciated it is because we don't even. I forgot what it even was.
I mean, Mammo Swine. I think Mammo Swine is kind of slept on low key because that thing's bulky and it hits. You know,
And
like
it's
you can
not.
run AV on that thing pretty
Yep.
decently and just have it. I don't know, ice shard, earthquake, icicle crash, stuff like that, and I'd be scared of it. You know?
And it's one of the best scarf users in the game because the
Yeah.
thing is, I think there's a stat on it where it's like there's like 2 Pokemon that resist both of its stabs in the entire game. So it's a very useful type combination to have offensively, and it forces your opponent to choose basically.
Mm-hmm.
Which they choose wrong, not going to be fun. Not going to be fun.
Exactly.
Up third, we have Icebox, which apparently is named after a beer brand. I did not know that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I looked it up.
Was the
This
tentacle
is
named after a beer? I don't even know. Was her team like alcohol themed?
I did not. I actually did not check.
It actually is.
No!
What?
Damn it. The
Oh,
spoiler
did you
again, man.
switch? No, I was looking up the yeah. Including flowers and leaves.
Hmm.
That's cool. Well, now we know. She had a fine beverage themed team, it seems, which is really cool.
Interesting. Well, either way, we think it's underrated as it was third in kills, or I believe it was top 5. It's in the MVP race, and I have honestly had never seen it all year.
Yeah.
So I honestly kind of forgot that it existed, and it was third in the MVP race, and it obviously put in a lot of work. So I don't know. I guess Icebox is definitely in there. And finally, Spike Lee, which is the Obstagoon
Yeah.
for Okan's team.
Mm-hmm.
Spike Lee is in here because it was only brought to, I believe, 5 or 6 games, yet it had above 10 kills. It averaged 2 kills a
Wow.
game. And could have been brought more, but wasn't, which was a curious decision.
Interesting. Okan honestly had a really, really good draft. So, I mean, he did have a lot of choices with which mons he kind of wanted to keep more consistent. So, I guess Obstagoon, like, as you know, good of a job as it did, and we definitely thought it was underappreciated in general. I mean, I guess he just had other options that he felt were better. So, but Obstagoon, that thing's a threat. I think it's actually a threat. So,
Agreed. And so I wonder who won, because it got spoiled for a third time. But we
roll.
have Icebox. Again, this thing was, I mean, a beast. It, I believe, was third in the league in differential, or it was top 5 in differential.
Yeah, it was fourth.
It was fourth, yeah.
Pretty
And I
crazy.
mean, the mon that got all the hype on Fuzzlekins' team, at least for me, was definitely the Zeraora.
Mhm.
And you paid so much attention to the Zeraora, it's so much more flashy, that you don't even notice that her team is led in differential and kills by Icebox.
Yeah,
So I think
which is
that was
terrifying, honestly, because you build for the Zeraora because that thing is also terrifying.
and
And
then
then you realize that this Kirim with its insane special attack with choice specs just comes out and hits you with Ice Beam, and then you just get swept. It's like, whoa, okay.
and I think that's the combo, is that you try to bring faster, frailer Pokemon to outspeed Zeraora, or you scarf things to outspeed Zeraora, and then this thing just comes in and sweeps you up. So
Yeah, this thing's scary because you can do specs. You can do, I think sub is a pretty big deal. Sub DD with
I
Ice
have
Bomb.
seen Sub DD Icicle Spear before, actually. Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah.
That's just scary.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
I think it was a good pick. It was definitely my choice, honestly, in terms of underrated, just because it made top 5, but the threat on Fuzzlekid's team is still like Zeraora, or the main threat at least. So
yep.
just kind of a slept on threat overall.
And I guess the PowerPoint feels like moving on. I must have like an automatic. I must have like an automatic like move on feature for it.
Maybe.
So I guess we're gonna talk about it. The top meme. The nominees are Good Nut and
Good
some other
night.
Pokemon that I really, I just don't care about. You know what I said that the other one, the other vote was the most landslide by far. I lied. It was actually this one. I think one person voted for somebody that wasn't Good Nut. And
Mhm.
I don't know who they were, but they wasted their vote because
Yeah,
Goodnight was very obviously going to win this category.
yeah.
Yeah. Do you have anything to say about our winner, Goodnight?
I'm just saying I think as a group saw Good Nut, the Meltan, and realized like how do you beat that, bro? I mean it is just a Meltan. I think it was, what was it, 1.1 like point worth in the draft or 0 points or something like
It was
that.
technically 1, which honestly was probably a wasted 1 point, but I mean, it's
I
okay.
mean, and I mean the fact that this thing, I believe, got a kill
Yeah, it did.
is
It got a kill.
insane. I mean, that could go on one of those like dubstep Pokemon YouTube compilations where it's like epic good nut Meltan sweep, but even though it was just 1 kill, I mean that's kind of nuts. No pun intended.
I see what you did there.
You
I
know
see
what
what
I'm
you did there,
saying?
yeah.
You know what I'm
And I
saying?
think
And I mean, it's so cute too. You know,
we're
it's just a bolt on like a blob of metal.
we're noticing a theme here with Ryan's team taking home a lot of awards. The Hustle are really raking in the awards right now. They have the best meme. They had a nominee for the low tier legend. They've had a lot of awards. It's been a big award season for the Hustle. And
Mm.
so we're going to try to get through this slides quicker because obviously the PowerPoint feels like changing them.
Yeah,
But for
we're
the
joined by PowerPoint Robot for sure today.
yes, so so the best name nominees are My Leg, the Basculin, which I mean, come on, he looks just like the My Leg guy. This was a late entry, as I was reminded of this later, but this would have been who I voted for if he was in when I voted. We
Yeah.
have Dominatrix, the Salazzle, which is great considering Salazzle always has to be a female. We have Girahim. Our thing is covering it up, but it's Girahim, the AG Slash.
Yes.
I personally love Legend of Zelda, so this was a soft spot for me. I think this is who I
Yeah.
voted
It
for.
was a really good name. Jarek is an absolute huge fan of Zelda. I don't know how big of a fan he is of Skyward Sword. I think he liked it, but once I saw him name it, I was like, yeah, that's a very Jarek name. And the
I
shiny
love
AG Slash made it look cool too.
I love Legend of Zelda too, so that was a soft spot for me. Love that series.
Oh yeah.
Get the new game that just came out. I'm probably gonna get that soon.
Oh yo.
Let's see, Miroslav. I think I just chose one of Matthew's Serbian nicknames because I just thought that was funny.
They're all really good.
like the other. Oh my god, I love those.
Week
So
MVP
I
one
think
time.
Miroslav. What's up?
Week MVP one time as well.
Yeah, week MVP with no, that was Tudor, I believe. Or was that no?
Oh,
Miroslav
was
was the no. Miroslav also did one time. I think he had
yeah, and I named it
MVPs.
Microslav by accident in the PowerPoint, I think.
Microslav, I remember that. Yep.
Yeah, sorry about that, Matthew, if you're watching at this point.
And then finally we had the Gulag. Welcome to the Gulag. It was pretty fight your way to earn your freedom. Loved it. With the Toxapex. It's trapped inside the Gulag. Thought that was pretty funny. And our winners, notice the S, the first ever co-winner of an award are the Dominatrix and the Gulag.
Yes.
Both poison types, interestingly, and both toxic stallers. I found that interesting.
Very, very true.
Both toxic stalling poison types. I don't know why that happened, but hey, maybe just if you get a poison type, name it something funny, and I will give you an award. Both of them end up
nickname,
with
bro. The Gulag.
the Gulag.
But yeah, my kind of thought process for it was just because Toxapex really embodies a gulag in a Pokemon. So I was just like, hey, it's trapping you in there with its poison stall. It's gonna spam recover. It's gonna make you feel like you're a part of the gulag as well.
Oh, see, I thought you were calling it the Gulag because it was stuck within itself.
Also, that it's like a double entendre.
Yeah, so there's a lot of meaning to it. And then Dominatrix, obviously, with the feminazi, just the little flair there. I respected that as well. I respect it.
Yeah.
So,
pretty great nicknames there.
Up next, we have an award that kind of important, the MVP of the league. So
kind of
to preface, what I did for this one was, if you voted for third place, I gave it 1 point. If you get it for second place, I give it 2 points. And if you voted it for first, I gave it 3 points. So, without further doubt, we're going to rank every single one of the MVPs candidates.
That's right.
So, in 8th place, we have Granny Smith, the Flapple. Now, you may be wondering how this got here, considering Flapple was not even on the list. However, a very kind gentleman wrote in his name and said, I would like Flapple to get some consideration. And I, being a man of the people, have listed it within the MVP race. Do you have anything to say with Flapple's performance this year, Bryce?
I honestly think it's a good placement just because T-posing Flapple, that's it. That's honestly all I got. T-posing Flapple really made it worthy of a top 8 MVP placement. So I think the consideration of putting him on the list and inclusion on the list was valid. That's what I got.
I 100% agree with you, Bryce. That was some great analysis there. I severely missed an opportunity to put that picture behind here, and
That picture's kind of sick though, honestly. This one.
honestly, yeah, I found some pretty dope pictures for
It looks
the
pretty anime.
does look pretty anime. So 7th place coming up next with 2 points. We have King Nappy YT. I wonder who put this one for second. You know, I mean, I wonder really who felt it.
Perhaps. Yeah, who
Yeah,
knows?
I actually don't
We'll leave that anonymous for now.
I actually don't think it was me. So I'm not even kidding. I'm pretty sure it actually.
Actually, it wasn't.
No, I don't think it was. I don't really know who put this.
I thought you were being sarcastic.
No, I mean, like, I honestly have no idea who picked this.
Oh,
Like,
I don't know. I wish I could tell you.
I'm pretty sure I only put it in here because it actually somehow was like 3rd or 4th or 5th maybe, and like.
Yeah, I mean it's a threat. Kingdra is a threat, even with the new meta that not the one that we have, but I still see it from time to time, just kind of spawning with rain. So I mean, it's always going to do its thing.
It is a problem. It needs rain to set up, but if it has rain, I mean. It's basically just choosing, do you want to do physical and like kill the other guy, or do you want to do special and kill the other guy? I mean, it's really which way do you want to kill them, you know?
Yep, exactly.
So coming in at 6, we have Icebox again.
Back.
Now, and this was stepping up a little bit with 5 points. This is where the real candidates start to become apparent, you know? Icebox again was definitely the most underrated Pokemon in the entire league this year, coming in 4th in differential. On one of the best teams in the league too. I mean, the team is in the semifinals right now, the conference finals. And Icebox honestly was a huge factor in why they got that far, and it was huge in differential.
Yes. Yeah, that's pretty much. Yeah, I wish I had more to add about how scary Kirim is, but I kind of covered I think we kind of covered a lot of it with the other award. So unless there's anything you're thinking of.
So coming in at 5th is Spike Lee, the Obstagoon, which is interesting considering it lost the previous race to Icebox, but it comes in ahead of the MVP race here. The reason it comes in ahead of the MVP is because the tiebreaker is the most 1st or 2nd place votes. Spike Lee ended up with 2 second place votes, while Icebox ended up with 1. So Spike Lee takes the crown here. And again, this is another Pokemon that we already talked about and somehow lost the race to Icebox earlier. These Pokemon are very clearly evenly matched in the category, I think.
Yes.
Great.
Coming
in at 4th is another Pokemon that we've talked about already. It is La Sombra. Bryce, if you want, you're the expert on La Sombra here, so maybe just give it a little bit more praise.
I do love, honestly, it's something about Clef, not playing against Clef, but watching Sam utilize the absolute threat that is Clefable is definitely entertaining. And I think a lot of people clearly agree with it to an extent, just watching it do its thing, watching it be bulky, watching it say, I don't really care what mon you bring in. I'm going to carry my team with all the stuff that I have. And it's just scary, And having it, I actually haven't seen it use stored power until Sam used it this league. So that was really fun to watch as well. So it's just like versatility in defense. That's really what it is. And offense too, sometimes if you let it build up. So it's just a good mind. And the design is hype. I mean, how can you dislike the Clef design,
It combined a really good Pokemon with a really good user. And that's what happens,
Right. That is right.
Coming in at 3rd place is a Memo. So these final 3 are the top 3 MVP candidates, and they will have their names placed in the Hall of Fame. Now, what we're going to do is, along with these 3, you are going to vote a 4th member into the Hall of Fame, but these 3 members are guaranteed a spot in the Hall of Fame.
Exciting. This is huge.
In honestly. 3rd place, we have the biggest surprise of the day with 8 points. Tudor.
Out of nowhere. Honestly.
Nowhere.
We were talking about this before we started recording, and we were like, yo, I mean, I think Scrafty's super hype. Scrafty's one of my favorite mons, but like, I think Matthew brought it, 3 times? Maybe 4 times? And I think it did do some stuff. It did.
It won, I believe it won a week MVP. It did win a week MVP.
Yeah. Matthew kind of popped off with the week MVPs. Let me see where it fell.
I believe it reverse swept Spec Bet, who is in the conference finals.
Yeah,
So
yes.
I think it shows that, maybe it had more potential, but like, let's be honest here. What's special about Two-Door was the grassroots movement started by Matthew to keep this thing in the MVP race. I just want to say I love to see a coach, really fighting for his Pokemon. I'll read the message.
That is passion right there.
I will read the message right now. Okay, I think the biggest tragedy in human history is that Two-Door is not in the MVP combo. I am literally on the brink of tears that he is not. Two-Door has been there since day one, and the fact that he doesn't even get mentioned with the other MVPs is just, oh my god. He won a most valuable player of the week one time, I think. That is crazy good. This honestly might be an act of racism. Because he's and had a tough upbringing doesn't mean he should be disrespected like this.
Oh,
you guys will quickly find out this playoffs how much of a mistake you made when he gets 4 kills in the first round. And I can't wait for you guys to see a mad Two-Door with a chip on his shoulder. Now, this does come
that
with
was beautiful.
Two-Door died 2 turns into his playoff matchup. And
unfortunately, it's kind of hard to counter Togekiss.
I think Matthew got absolutely destroyed in his first week, and I'm pretty sure he lost like in the second turn with Two-Door.
I think it was my Galarian Darm. I got off a belly drum, and I just started clicking stuff, and Two-Door came out, and it hurt me.
I'm pretty sure. I don't think he lasted 5 turns.
Like when I saw Two-Door, I was like, "This is my boy." Like honestly, something about Scrafty. He's just hype, like he's honestly like a pretty big threat if you let it set up and it switches out on the right circumstance. But it was just Galarian Darm was just too brain dead at the time, and Two-Door, it fought to the bitter end.
It did.
But it's hard to say no to a ×4 Darm,
If the other Hall of Fame members represent actual skill, Two-Door really represents the grit. The determination, the willpower that you have to have if you're a Pokemon that may not have the talent of other Pokemon. And he stands for them.
Two-Door stands for the common Pokemon.
He stands for the poor country of Serbia. He stands for the poor RU tier of disrespected Pokemon.
Yes, it does. And we commend Two-Door for that, honestly.
It's more
and for having such a passionate coach behind it. And I think that's what got it to this number 3 spot right here.
Agreed.
Job well done, Two-Door. Salute.
Cheers to you. And at number 2, here's the if you've been paying attention, you know who's going to be MVP based off of this. At number 2, we have Pooh. The leader in kills by 3 kills. He actually did lead the league in first place votes. However, due to the second and third place votes coming in, he was passed by another Pokemon. I can talk to Pooh either way. He's still a Hall of Famer. So let's just talk about Pooh a little bit. He should not have been allowed in this league. We made a clear mistake in the tiering.
Not only was Pooh allowed, Pooh and Po.
I mean, let's be honest. That was a mistake allowing them in the league. We're going to be doing a different format next year, but if we were doing this again, they would be banned 110 out of 10 times. They are unfair. I did not have to try most weeks because of them. And it kind of cost me in the playoffs when I did not bring both of them.
They do definitely have counters, but not enough sometimes. There were just some teams that just couldn't do much against them.
I'm pretty sure your team is one of them.
That said, he said, I'm in this league. Let me do this, and I think he did a really good job at utilizing the things that made it scary. Just hitting through Protect. What do you do sometimes?
I really did do a good job of utilizing the 80 power, 100% of crit goes through Protect and all setup. It really was a tough task trying to use that, but I think I did.
And we could talk about the fairy counters, but Pooh says, "Yo, catch his Iron Head real quick."
Or better yet, I don't even care.
If I have
Choice Scarf, Wicked Blow. If I have Choice Band and Wicked Blow, you're probably gonna get 2-shot anyway. doesn't really even matter. Like,
That's true. That is true. But we tried having an interview with Poe about Pooh taking the spot, but he aqua jetted away too fast. He was kind of salty. He kind of wanted the MVP spot, but it's all right.
he wasn't even mentioned. He really got snubbed, and I think I didn't even bring him for the playoff game. He was very he's been asking for a trade. Actually, he's come in and requested a
Yeah,
trade
I
because I'm
don't
not
know.
utilizing his skill set enough, and I understand. I'm gonna trade him to Uber so we don't use him ever again.
That's fair. I think I'll have a better time there, honestly.
So by process of elimination, you probably all know who the MVP of the league is.
Oh yes.
And at number one in the MVP race going into the Hall of Fame, we have God 2. As you can
Dude,
see,
it's been a long time coming.
it
For
has
this
really been
ninja.
a long time coming. It was brought in 6 games. It died in 5 of them.
Yeah.
It did not get a single kill. And it's just look at how beautifully it's depicted here by this lovely, lovely, lovely woman.
Yes. And I just think that, I mean, the absolute finesse of Shedinja and the fear that it puts in just the faces, hearts, and souls of everybody when it shows out, because it's like, yo, can I hit this thing sometimes? And then you're like, yo, I gotta remember the weaknesses. And it just instantly just makes you want to quit, and that kind of power is just too strong, and it's like, even though it died 90% plus of the time, it was just sandbagging, it was like, I will grant access to you mere mortals to defeat me because I know how powerful I am,
Yeah. But
and we knew, we saw the potential in God too, so we
I
had to.
clearly was just not trying with it, and I just wanted to mess around. I didn't want to actually use it. I didn't want to have 3 Ubers Pokemon on my team, so I just was like, yeah, I'll just not use it. But
Yeah.
obviously, we're just kidding. Number one's Mew. Okay, so see you guys later. Great season, and I really hope that you guys. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just
No, it
kidding.
was fun.
We will. That was a little bit of a callback to 1-1 week MVP.
I don't even think we said the nickname that week of
No, I
Mew.
don't think we did. I think we just said
We
Mew.
just said Mew.
I'm not going to disrespect them again. I'm not going to disrespect them that much. Captain Marvel truly did deserve it. It
Yeah,
was a Pokemon that I believe every single person that voted for it for either first, second, or third, which shows that no matter what, everyone respected it, and because of the variety of things it could do.
exactly. And I know I use the term versatility for a lot of these mons during these conferences, but I mean, literally, like the way Ryan used Captain Marvel, the Mew, in this league was the definition of versatility. You didn't know what it was going to do, and he showed that. And I mean, I think my personal highlight, and I don't know if I'm speaking for both of us, for that utilization of the versatile moveset that Mew has, was that Imprison set against Yawin. And I really think I love this so much. And along with the DD set against Specbet or Spencer, it was just so much fun to watch. Like, I didn't have that like as much fun watching. I think I worded that wrong. Basically, I had so much fun watching the Imprison set out of pretty much any set I've watched throughout the entire series, and it was just nuts. Like, I never would have thought of it. Like Imprison,
Yeah.
block, transform. Like, you literally cannot do anything, and it showed. Literally, the Serena had to sit there and you struggle until it got triple axle to death, and it was a stroke of genius to watch. It was just amazing. It was
I
amazing.
mean, I think these 2 particular moments, 10 taunting photos taken moments before disaster, I think these 2 particular moments show just how versatile Mew is. It can literally go from stalling you to a point where you can't even use a move to being
Mm-hmm.
one of the best attacking sweepers in the entire game. It can
Yeah.
go from as defensive as possible to as offensive as possible. And it was effective in both. In the game on the right, Mew swept the team pretty much. In the game on the left, obviously Mew helped in taking down one of the bigger threats on Yewin's team. It
That's
can really do
right.
it all. And considering that we had the Hartford Hustle ranked last in preseason rankings we had them as a team that was just going to be here for fun, was just here for the memes and nothing else. And not only did they end up having a winning record, but they ended up winning a playoff game. Is a testament to how valuable Mew was to that team.
That's right. And it just goes to show how scary this entire league was, honestly. Like every team kind of brought something to the table at some point that caught people off guard, I'd say, and just kind of was just amazing to watch, especially. And I think the pinnacle example of that was this Imprison set and the DD set. And if he wanted to, he could have made Mew a bulky stealth rock spike setter too. I mean, this thing can really do anything, and I think Hartford Hustle did a fantastic job at kind of showing that off, and I loved it. It of course speaks for everyone else voting. I think we all did to an extent. It was really, really fun to watch.
I 100% agree. I 100% agree. And so now we're going to transition into what we will be doing next.
Yes.
With this all decided, we are going to have a recap video after the next week of games, recapping the playoffs up to the finals, and then we will be live commentating the finals.
Oh,
if
yeah.
anybody wants to join, it will be a great time for all you guys to reconvene for the end of the league. And we have some surprises in for what's going to happen next time too. For those of you that want to rejoin, we will be we figure to have the next league up relatively soon.
Mm-hmm.
We will say we hope to utilize winter break to start the next league, but join back for the finals. We're gonna be voting on our last Hall of Fame member, and it's been an exciting time this year. It has been a great time. Bryce, you have any closing words?
No, I think you covered pretty much everything. I think we're gonna try. It would be fun if we could like stream it on Twitch or something, make a simp Twitch or something, so we could have like interaction and chat and stuff. I think that'd be really, really fun for the live commentary. But we'll just get to that probably the day of or whatever. But regardless, I think it'll be really fun for us kind of all coming together for the finals, watching it, appreciating it, just having a blast, and I just, I've been having an absolutely great time with this league. And just like Alex was saying earlier, we want to just thank all of you for your dedication, for your passion with this league. Everyone, I'm pretty sure we didn't have one missed game the entire, like everyone at some point played their games, like no one was like,
I want to say that is absolutely insane. I think I've played Pokemon leagues for what, like 6 years or something. That has never happened.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah. And I mean, I haven't done a league in a while, but I mean, I've gone to Smash tournaments where people pay money, to be there. And then halfway through, they're like, I'm going to get some Wendy's or something. They leave, So it's like the amount of passion for a free online league that you guys have really shows that this is a good group of people. And we really can't thank you all enough for it.
Yeah, this was fun as hell. Definitely the most fun I've had in a league in a while, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been an absolute blast, and it's not over yet. That's what's so exciting. So we got conference finals, maybe probably happening sometime this week, depending on everyone's schedule. I think it's Ocon and Fuzzlekins and Sam and Spencer. Expect that, I believe.
Yep.
So that'll happen sometime this week, and then we got the finals coming soon, shortly after that. So I'm stoked. I am absolutely stoked to see what's in store.
Same here. And with that, I believe we are heading out. I will see you guys when we do the video next week.
Sounds good. All right. Peace out, fellow Sims, fellow pimps, fellow everyone. We love you.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that. That's kind of sus, but.